Good morning. Happy Wednesday. This is the 22nd day of September. This is the 78th episode of the Be Your Own Hero Show. I'm your host. I'm Sekouwrites, and HERO is an acronym. It means helping everyone reaps optimism. In other words, it's a reciprocal action. Okay, so I'm going to do something a little different today. Today is typically Workout Wednesday, as you know, if you've been watching the show. But today I'm going to do Winning Wednesday. Winning with Wednesday. Why? Because I want to finish talking about all the financial stuff that I didn't get to yesterday on Tip Tuesday. So let's go. Let's get into some money stuff. All right. So I'm bringing back the question of the day. I haven't done that in a while. So today's question of the day is, how do you win in the stock market? How do you win in the stock market? And that's something that I'm grappling with myself. The question was inspired by what I talked about yesterday on Tip Tuesday in terms of someone saying, hey, I'm not making any money after being invested in the stock market for a month. So if you want to watch me break down her portfolio, check out yesterday's episode, Tip Tuesday for the 21st day of September. Anyway, let's move on. So again, the question is, how do you win in the stock market? And what I'm learning is that you have to have a goal. Now, I did not have a goal in the beginning. I just got in, and then I was surprised that it was easy to get in. I said that yesterday. I was really shocked by how easy it is to get into the stock market. The barrier to entry has really eliminated itself. Like, there's so many easy ways to get into the stock market. So that's number one. So I didn't really have a goal other than to get in. And then once I got in, I started splashing around in the pool, probably like many of you, just splashing around like, oh, I can buy this, I can buy that, I can buy that. And you start to notice that the world around you is for sale in many ways, in many respects. There are many companies that you've been interacting with for years that are for sale in terms of the fact that you can buy stock. So that said, it took me a while to develop a goal. And I shared with you before that my goal was to increase my net worth, and now it's shifting. So let me just run through some of the goals that I've noticed other people having as I've been exploring this world. So you could want to increase your net worth. You could want to generate passive revenue. You could want to create generational wealth for your children. So there are many different goals you can have. Those are just a few, but it's important to have a goal, because as you have a goal, that shifts your thinking about the stock market, which is vast. It's so big. Those of you who are in it now can attest to that. It's vast. There's so many companies that are for sale. So having a goal helps you narrow your focus. So as I was starting to say, I shared with you on this show that my original goal was increasing my net worth. And now that it's shifted to not having dead money. Not having dead money. That phrase still haunts me. That is a phrase, by way of reminder, that I got from Grant Cardone. He is a billionaire, and he calls money in a savings account dead money. Why? Because it is slowly decreasing itself at the rate of inflation. Like, whatever the rate of inflation is, that's how much the money in your savings account is decreasing itself by, adjusted for whatever interest rate you're getting on the money in your savings account. But typically, 99.9% of the time, the interest rate that you're getting on your savings account is much less than the inflation rate, meaning the inflation rate is greater, so you're still losing money. Like, let's just use easy numbers. If you're getting a 1% interest rate on your savings account, but inflation is 2%, you're losing a percentage point. Your money is decreasing daily. So that's what he's calling dead money. So to avoid having dead money, you've got to invest. And one of the easiest places to invest, as I just talked about, is the stock market, because you can do it from the comfort of your couch, on your smartphone, or on your laptop. You can easily invest in the stock market. So all that said, my new goal is just to not have dead money. Now that I'm aware of that concept, I don't want my money to just be depleting itself in my savings account. I want it to be working while I sleep. And that's the whole goal. That's what having passive income is about. It's about having your money work for you. It's about making money while you sleep. When your money is making money, when your money is putting in work, that's when you start to accumulate wealth. So that's my goal. And because that's my new goal, that has shifted my thinking about a few things. Like you've heard me talk about ETFs, which are exchange traded funds, or REITs, real estate investment trusts, or index funds. Like I am paying much more attention to those things now because now that I have a goal, I have to be less speculative. And speculation is just, when you just throwing stuff out there and you're just gonna see what it does. And put a dollar here, a dollar there. Let's just see what happens. Like it goes back to what Warren Buffett. Now, obviously, Warren Buffett is on a different level. Let's be clear, he's on a different level. But one of his quotes that has resonated with me is, "Diversification is a hedge against stupidity," meaning know what you're doing. Know what you're doing. I would just tweak the quote, and be like, speculation is a hedge against stupidity. You're just kind of throwing stuff everywhere. So the more you learn, the more you know, the better you can invest wisely. So I have learned that these things that I just talked about, ETFs and REITs and index funds, are safer places to put money. So I've started closing some of my positions and reallocating the assets to those safer places. So for example, in my Robinhood account, I closed all of my positions, 100% of my positions, and then reallocate. And then I've mentioned this before, but it bears repeating. Once you close your position, which means to sell all shares of a particular stock, the money stays within whatever ecosystem it's in. So I closed all my positions in Robinhood. All the money stayed in Robinhood, and then I reallocated all those resources to the S&P 500, which you've probably heard of. It has steadily increased year after year after year. It was barely affected by the recession. It just keeps on going up and up and up. So that feels like a safe place to put money. So I consolidated. I must have had like 6 or 7 positions in Robinhood, and I consolidated all of them and reinvested them into the S&P 500. So that feels like a safer, smarter move. It feels like investing as opposed to speculating. Okay, so other thing I did is I used to check my portfolio once a week, and now I check it daily. And I don't do much. I just look. And as I look and I become more familiar, that exposure brings comfort. I just get to feel more comfortable looking around, seeing all the numbers move, just getting a sense of what's what. I don't feel as intimidated because I'm looking more often. Third thing I started doing is I started watching at least one YouTube about the stock market a day. Usually it's more than that because, the YouTube algorithm will pick it up. So, oh, you're interested in the stock market now, and it'll feed you more and more of the same thing. So it's gotten to the point where I'm watching more than one video a day. But my commitment to myself is to watch at least one video a day. Usually that includes Wall Street Trapper, who I've talked a lot about on this channel. But it doesn't matter. I just take at least one video about the stock market a day, and I start to learn things. And I've learned a bunch of things. So I made a list of things that I've learned, and hopefully some of these things will be useful to you. And hopefully this will be encouragement for you to look at your portfolio. Well, first of all, I hope everyone has a portfolio now. If not, get a portfolio. Just get involved. Get in the game. It's not that hard to get in the game. Just get in. That said, check your portfolio every day. Just look at it every day. If you're looking at social media every day, check your portfolio every day. Make it a habit. Just look. Just look. You don't have to do anything. Just look. Just get familiar. Okay. These are some of the many things that I've learned as I started paying more attention to it. The first is obvious. The money just doesn't poof vanish. Like that was a big one for me because I thought the money would just vanish. It doesn't vanish. If you're in the market, you already know. Yes, it fluctuates, but it doesn't vanish. And you only lose equity if you sell when the stock is down. But again, it stays with an ecosystem. And I gave this example yesterday, but I'm going to give it again. If you buy a stock at $10, it goes down to $5. It doesn't matter because it could go back up to 12. If you sell at 5, all right, now you've locked in the loss and you lost $5, but it's still within the ecosystem. So you can reallocate those funds to some place where it's better served, like the S&P 500. Okay. It's unwise to be emotional. I learned that. and I'm encouraging you to not be emotional, be calm and analytical about the stock market. I already talked about the proceeds staying in the ecosystem. And I talked about this too. Your money retains its value better in the stock market than it does in a savings account because of inflation. And because inflation is not only rising costs, it's also the falling value of the dollar. That's important to know. So it's simply a better place to put your money if you know what you're doing, if you're smart about it and you're not just speculating. It's a better place to put your money. Okay. Moving on. Not all stocks pay dividends. This was a big one for me too. The first of all, that I started getting dividends after only investing $1 or $2. That blew my mind. You're going to give me dividends and I only have $1 invested? So that led me to, well, how much are you going to pay me if I buy a whole share? Right? And so that led me down a very interesting rabbit hole of buying full shares of stock and the difference that makes in terms of the dividend amount that you get. So that's very important. But it's also interesting to know that not all stocks pay dividends. Some are considered growth stocks and some are dividend stocks. The dividend stocks, obviously, they pay you a kickback. The growth stocks are more about the rising equity of your money in the stock. Like, for example, Amazon and Tesla don't pay dividends, but both of those are just, their bar charts are just going off the chain. Okay, let me try to get to the whole list today and not get too distracted. So let's see, the dividends, yep. You can have more than one account at a brokerage. What? I didn't know that. So at Ameritrade, for example, you could have more than one account, just like at a bank, you can have more than one account, right? So in other words, you can set it up so that you've got different buckets. You've got this account that's all about speculation, and this other account is all about keeping it safe in ETFs, and this other account is all about keeping it super safe in index funds. So you can do that. I have not done that yet, but just the fact that I know you can is helpful. Okay, so what else have I learned? Oh, this is a really big one. This is a really big one. The information differs from brokerage to brokerage. What? Yes, the information differs from brokerage to brokerage. Now, if you're only up on one brokerage, you don't know this, but I'm up on Robinhood, Ameritrade, and Cash App, right? And I just recently noticed, because of something the Wall Street Trapper said, that the information is not the same. He said something, I can't even remember what it was, and I was like, wait, what? And so I looked at one stock across all three, and the information is very slightly different. And that took me down a rabbit hole. And I learned that, well, what I read online is that Robinhood, for example, has a built-in delay so that it knows that the price of the stock has changed, but it holds on to the old price a little bit longer. And then if you trade it, it pockets the difference. Woo. What is that? That's legal? Like, wow, that blew my mind. So it's important for you to be up on more than one exchange. Oh man, I'm already almost out of time. I'm almost out of time. I'm gonna have to keep talking about money all week, I think. Once again, I'm about halfway through what I was gonna say. But all right, so I'm just gonna end there. Get yourself up on several different brokerages because they differ. And for example, last thing, Cash App pays you dividends, but the dividends go back into your Cash App account as opposed to being reinvested as it does on Ameritrade, and you want the dividends to be reinvested. All right, I'm out of time. Check me out. Well, check out Sit with Rev Melissa at 10:30 Eastern coming up. Check me out Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for the Be Your Own Hero show. Tomorrow's supposed to be Tally Thursday. I don't know. I might have to keep talking about this money stuff. I want to get it all out. We'll see. Tune in tomorrow and we'll find out together what tomorrow's show will be about. In the meantime, keep doing, be a hero, be your own hero. Remember, now is better than perfect. And tune back in at 10:30 for Sit with Rev Melissa. I'll be producing and I'll make a few comments. And so hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Later.